Hello, I am Dr. Saurabh Patwardhan from Nandadeep Eye Hospital, Sangli, Maharashtra, India. And in this video, I'll be trying out the machine called Earthly. A case I did using this machine, which is called Earthly Cataract 3. And I've done few cases before this, but I decided that I will take up this challenge. Of course, this is a well-established machine. Many surgeons are using it, but I am used to Constellation phaco machine, which uses the torsional phaco along with the longitudinal. So I wanted to test this machine, how it fares against this mature hard cataract. So this is a small pupil, shallow anterior chamber, mature hard looking cataract. Patient has little bit of, you can see, nystagmus. I am doing this surgery on topical anesthesia with a biplanar entry. You can see mid-limbal vertical groove little bit and then straight incision parallel to the iris. In this case I am going to stain the anterior capsule because I want to do the capsulorhexis, so I need the contrast. I always stain the capsule under air. It does two things. One is that it concentrates the dye over the anterior capsule and also avoids some trauma to the endothelium if it is there. I also pushed little bit of trypan blue under the iris, just little bit, so that after I put a pupil expansion ring, the anterior capsule underneath the iris is also stained. I am going to use Hyaluronic by Care Group. No financial interest, but it contains 3% chondroitin and 4% hyaluronate, and it is much more viscous than the Alcon's Viscoat. So this is my OVD of choice for such cases because it puts a lot of weight over the anterior capsule, and for intumescent cataracts it makes a huge difference. I do not get any Argentinian flag sign with the help of this viscoelastic, and also using my technique of 5 steps. So in this case I am going to use the B-Hex pupil expansion device by Dr. Suhen Bhattacharya from India, and very nice, very easy to use device here. The flanges are put such that it hooks the iris. It's a form of a hexagon, that's why the name B-Hex. And this one is a B-Hex ring which I have ETO'd, so we can use it couple of times to save the cost. It works fairly okay. If it is deformed, don't use it. And to put this subincisional flange, I am going to use the side port incision and the 23 gauge forceps, which is a curved forceps for ease of maneuverability. And you can see how the flange engages the iris on both sides. It's around 5.5 to 5.7 millimeter pupil now. The advantage of the B-Hex device is that it will keep the pupil of this size all throughout the surgery, thus avoiding any iris trauma during the procedure. Now my standard 5-step technique I just want to show you. First is the cruciate incision. Make multiple nicks right at the center of the anterior capsule, and then using the 27 gauge cannula attached to a 2 cc syringe, I will aspirate the fluid cortex from both sides. So both incisions have to be used to remove this intralenticular fluid. Once you do that, you know that there is no more raised intralenticular pressure. The second step is also the peripheral strokes. It is like milking of the peripheral cortex, so the anterior capsule becomes like flat. Once you have a flat anterior capsule, the chances of Argentinian flag or extension of capsulorhexis is 0. So I use the same 5-step technique in all my cases of intumescent cataract, and I get very predictable, reproducible capsulorhexis in all these cases. So in this case, because there is no intubations now, I decided to use the main incision, and using a microcapsulorhexis forceps, I am going to get a nice capsulorhexis here. So around size of 5 millimeter, I got a good capsulorhexis. Now I am going to use a new machine, relatively new for me, because I am used to Alcon's machines, and each machine has their set of sounds. For example, when the phaco starts, when there is occlusion, when you increase the vacuum or increase the phaco power delivered. So you have to get used to it. Also, to start the irrigation, there is a different sound. Here the foot switch has to press back so that the irrigation starts and irrigation stops at the end, and then you have to put the mode of irrigation so that when you start pressing the foot switch forward, there is a continuous irrigation. And here I am going to use the continuous power. So my foot switch is basically controlling the power delivered, and you can see I am not giving it in a continuous fashion all throughout. And also for harder grades, I don't make the trench right from one end of CCs to another. So I go like, vertical. I call it vertical trench. So I go dip and then go forward little bit. So rather than going full horizontally, I do these kind of movements so that I achieve a good trench, but without much of the nucleus movement here. So here I noticed that from the side port incision it was little bigger. So there was a lot of leakage which was happening from the side port incision. So I decided that I will make another small side port which is tiny, just enough for the Sinskey. I use the 1 millimeter Sinskey in all my cases, even for chopping. So we don't need any sharp choppers even for hardest grade of cataracts. They are very safe to use, and the advantage is that you can do the multi-level chopping right till the posterior plate without endangering the posterior capsule. So here I go again, and you can see now I am using the small side port incision here, and the leak has stopped. So I expect the chamber to be very stable all throughout the surgery. So this is what I do the chop. Now here I am just using 35 ml of aspiration flow rate, because this is my initial cases. I don't want to test the machine with high flow rates here, and using 50% phaco continuous mode, and I could do a nice chop. And you can see I am doing multi-level, so the posterior plate is nicely cracked here. That's a good way to start the case. And then I do chops of the heminuclei, and the machine is doing excellent. I'm using again continuous mode here, 50% power, controlled by my foot switch, and making sure there is a good hold. I'm doing multi-level chops, so the large heminuclei are divided into small pieces here. We'll skip a little bit of it. And now I go to the quadrant removal. You can see my bevel used here is sideways or even downwards little bit towards these pieces. That helps in getting good occlusion immediately and nice emulsification. I'm loving this machine definitely because it emulsifies the pieces so quickly. And I'm not testing it with high vacuum. I've used just 350 vacuum and 350 flow rate. You can see the anterior chamber is very stable, and also you can see the nuclear pieces are behaving nicely. There is no turbulence in the anterior chamber, very controlled phacoemulsification, good hold on the pieces. When I bury this 30-degree easy tip, this is called easy tip of cataracts, and I think that's a great advantage. I think the key element of this machine is this easy tip, which is flared towards the distal end, and that I think saves the anterior chamber from the surge. And also you can see the wound here, there is no burn at all, even if I am using the continuous power mode here. For harder grade cataracts, I always replenish the Hylicoat in between and then put some 2% HPMC in the bag just to push the posterior capsule down to avoid any fluid which might have accumulated in the Burgess space. The bottle height being used here is around 110 centimeter. It doesn't have a motorized pole or active IOP control, so we have to fix the bottle height, and 110 is a safe bottle height to begin with. I may try to reduce it later on once I get used to the fluidics of the machine. And you can see nicely divided pieces, they are just gulped and emulsified by this easy tip with just 350 vacuum and 35 flow rate, very controlled, no turbulence at all. Let's move on to the last piece, and for last piece it's very important. I just focused on the posterior capsule if there is any disturbance or any fluctuation there, but you can see that for 350 vacuum and 35 flow rate it's rock steady posterior capsule, so I don't have to reduce it for the last piece, but otherwise I recommend that you reduce the vacuum for the last piece. Very well done there. And the rest part is the coaxial eye, which was just as usual, followed by the IOL implantation. Now when the B-hex is there, you have to be just careful about the distal haptics of the IOL so that they don't drag these flanges of B-hex into the bag. That is something one has to be careful about. That's done. That's visco removal. Going behind the IOL, I'm going to use here a higher vacuum, so I'm using 500 vacuum with 50 flow rate for the visco wash. Make sure that all the Hylicoat, all HPMC is removed from the chamber to have very nice and steady chamber. This is the end of the surgery and patient did excellent. So I think my experience with Earthly Cataracts 3 has been very good, and I would like to explore this machine more, and I will come up with the parameters which are the best for this machine in future for sure. Thank you so much for listening to it, and